was directed by Jerry Zucker, written by Bruce Joel Rubin, and it stars Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, Whoopi Goldberg, and Tony Goldwyn. Ghost tells the story of a young couple, Sam Wheat and Molly Jensen, who are happily in love, but unfortunately their love is cut short when Sam is brutally shot and killed during a botched robbery. With his spirit still trapped on Earth, Sam must warn Molly that her life is still in danger, with the aid of a fake psychic, Elder Mae Brown, brilliantly played by Whoopi Goldberg. Ghost could have been one of those films that could have just fallen into the category of a simple fantasy film. We've seen it done before in such films as Always, Ghostad, where there is someone who's departed and is trying to comfort their loved one before they move on. Ghost does something different. Ghost isn't just a fantasy film. It is a mystery, it is a thriller, it is a whodunit, it is a horror to some degree, it is a romantic film, it is comedic, it is a tearjerker. It is all of these elements combined into this one film, and it is served to us as an audience. And what I loved most was the fact that none of these elements override one another. They are all delivered in equal measure. Ghost was directed by Jerry Zucker, and Jerry Zucker is 1/3 of the greatest writing, producing, and directing comedy teams of all time. Jerry and David Zucker and Jim Abrahams. They gave us Airplane. They gave us Ruthless People. They gave us the Naked Gun films. They gave us Hot Shots. So for him to step away and to tell a film with this level of maturity was a huge accomplishment. And we've recently seen something done similar with Peter Farrelly. Peter Farrelly and the Farrelly brothers, they were responsible for screwball comedies like There's Something About Mary, Dumb and Dumber, Me, Myself and Irene, Kingpin. But then Peter Farrelly stepped back and told a very well told and beautiful story called Green Book, which won Academy Awards. Bruce Joel Rubin, who wrote Ghost, was reluctant to work with Jerry Zucker because of his comedic background. Initially, Ghost was very dark in its tone and its narrative, and Bruce wanted someone like Stanley Kubrick or Milos Forman to direct the film. But when Jerry Zucker stepped in, he added the necessary ingredients that made Ghost a success. It was well paced, it was very well structured, and he injected the comedic elements that made the film more lighthearted. Casting wise, the cast in this film is great, and it is really difficult to believe that the people that they cast for this film were not the first choice for the directors. Patrick Swayze was one of the most charismatic and most intense leading men that we had. But he wasn't Jerry Zucker's first choice for the role of Sam Wheat, because Patrick Swayze has shown that he can do vulnerable, he can play the handsome leading man in Dirty Dancing, he can do action in Roadhouse. But after seeing Roadhouse, Jerry Zucker thought, you know what, you're not right for Sam. But after auditioning, he was perfect for the role and he was cast. And it was a very, very long casting for this film. Kevin Costner, Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, Nicolas Cage, Johnny Depp, these guys were all considered for the role of Sam Wheat. And it's hard to envision anybody else other than Patrick Swayze playing that role. Even Bruce Willis was cast for the role of Sam Wheat, because he was married to Demi Moore at the time, and he turned it down. He would redeem himself several years later when he took on the role of Malcolm Crowe in The Sixth Sense, where he was playing a similar role. But Patrick Swayze as Sam Wheat, he was very, very intense. He was very, very charismatic. He played the romantic lead very well. He played the vulnerable lead very well. He played the bitter lead very well, because he was a spirit trapped on Earth with no one to talk to, with no one to help him. And he played that role very well. Demi Moore as Molly Jensen. This was the role that catapulted her to superstardom. And I've always said that Demi Moore is a great supporting actress. I wouldn't say she's a great leading actress, but when she's in the right cast with the right amount of support, she can do very, very well. But the highlight of Ghost, I think for anybody, is Whoopi Goldberg's character as Elder Mae Brown, the fake psychic who actually discovers that her powers are actually real. And funnily enough, Patrick Swayze said that I will not do this role unless Whoopi Goldberg is cast. In fact, before Whoopi Goldberg was cast, Oprah Winfrey, Patti LaBelle, Tina Turner, they were all considered for the role of Elder Mae Brown. But again, can you imagine anybody else playing this role? Elder Mae Brown is the link for Sam between the spiritual world and the real world. She injects the humor, she injects the heart into this film. And for me, what I found so interesting was the fact that I found the chemistry between Oda Mae Brown and Sam far more engaging and far more entertaining than the chemistry between Molly and Sam. The charisma of Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze works very, very well. And Whoopi rightly deserved to win the Academy Award, the Golden Globe, and the BAFTA for her performance as Oda Mae Brown. And also the rest of the supporting cast. Vincent Schiavelli as the subway ghost. The ghost who Patrick Swayze seeks out to teach him how to actually start touching objects so he can actually become in contact with people. I thought that for what he was given, he lent fine support. And Rick Avellis as Willie Lopez, he was physically menacing in that role. And to think that I remember my first encounter with Rick Avellis was when I saw him in the Cannonball Run film. Now, they've said that imitation is the highest form of flattery. And with film, I don't know how it works. A writer can write a scene, they can direct a scene, they can write a particular line in a film, and over many, many years, that scene and that line can take on a life of its own to the point where it is copied, where it can be the most quoted. Ghost has a scene that has to be one of the most copied and one of the most parodied scenes of all time. The pottery scene. Who would have thought that 30 years on, even after that scene, it will be copied in such films as Family Guy, Two and a Half Men, and even Jerry Zucker would go on and copy that line and spoof it when he would do the sequel to Naked Gun 2.5. Ghost has numerous scenes that work so brilliantly on so many different levels. So, comedic-wise, Ghost has a lot of funny moments. Especially the banter between Oda Mae Brown and Sam. That is where the film really, really comes alive. So, when we first discover that Oda Mae Brown can actually hear the dead and her first encounter with Sam, it works so well and is very, very funny. When we see Sam trying to convince Oda Mae to go and speak to Molly and he's singing I'm Henry VIII. And I don't know whether this was done deliberately, but Oda Mae breaks the fourth wall by throwing like a pillow at the camera. When she's in the bank pretending to be Rita Miller and trying to get the $4 million check. Just the banter between the two. And there's one clever scene where Sam is speaking to Oda Mae and he starts whispering and Oda Mae asks him, well, why are you whispering? And I was like, yeah, why are you whispering? It was a funny scene. And also one of the funniest scenes in the film was where they give the $4 million check to the nuns. And when the nun sees the amount, she faints. And that nun was actually Bruce Joel Rubin's mother. So it's not a slapstick film, but there's comedy in equal measure and it works so well. And same with the drama. Seeing Molly come to terms with Sam's death, liaising with Carl. And again, how can we forget about Tony Goldwyn's character? Carl Brunner. Tony Goldwyn was an unknown actor at that time, but he's actually, and here's a spoiler for you, he was actually the person that actually set the robbery up. He played intensity and nice guy in great measure. And he was, again, a very, very good addition to the cast. And there's also thrills in this film as well. One iconic scene where Sam goes to protect Oda Mae from Carl and Willie. And when he first gets Willie and he pushes him into the bathroom, steams up a mirror and he puts Boo in the window. And I thought, wow. And when Carl is in the bank trying to find out where all the lost money is, and Sam starts saying murderer, typing murderer, and starts typing Sam. Just the way that scene was executed worked so well. And you got some good romantic scenes as well, where Sam and Molly share one last dance. So there's so many memorable moments from Ghost that work on so many different levels. Visual effects wise, I would say that some visual effects shots look a little stale now, 30 years on. But that's some. The majority can still hold their own. And one of the more horror-based scenes in the film was where the evil spirits, the shadows, the noises that they make when they go and get Willie and Carl and they take them to the depths of hell. That was beautifully shot and beautifully filmed and was one of the more scariest scenes in the film. But 30 years on, Ghost, still a classic. Highest grossing film of 1990, was the most rented video cassette of 1991. It is a film that starts off beautifully. It has got a beautiful score by Maurice Jarre. Maurice Jarre has composed some excellent musical compositions in the past, from Dead Poets Society to Frantic to No Way Out, and his utilization of violins and cellos, synthesizers, and just the musical compositions that capture tension, that capture the romance, that capture the somberness of the movie. It all works beautifully. And then there's that iconic scene where we see Molly finally is able to hear Sam. He kisses her, tells her that he loves her. And Patrick Swayze, in only what Patrick Swayze can, delivers some of the best lines ever, telling him that he loves Molly and that the love inside he takes it with him, and then he walks into heaven. And Maurice Jarre's score just complements that scene beautifully. And it was only when I was watching this film that, after seeing that particular scene, that I got a little choked up, because I realized that some of the key players in Ghost are no longer alive anymore. Patrick Swayze, Vincent Schiavelli, they both passed away at the same age of 57. Rick Avelez, who played Willie Lopez, he sadly passed away in 1995. Maurice Jarre, the composer for this film, sadly passed away. But again, and it is still a touching film. It is a film that you can watch anytime. It is still entertaining, it's still engaging, it still holds its own, and it can still pull at your heartstrings. One of my favourite films that I enjoy watching again and again and again. So I will give Ghost a very, very strong 10 out of 10. So guys, that's my review. Please hit that subscribe button so you can help this channel grow. Hit the alarm bell so you can get notification when my videos will be up. Have you seen Ghost? How do you feel about it 30 years on? Did it still get you then as it did now? Leave a comment in the comment section. Follow my boy Joe Cobra, and I shall see you on the next retro film review. Take care.